All right, welcome back. Now, everyone knows that the Nigerian currency, the naira, is under severe pressure. As at the last time we checked, it was exchanging for around 300 naira to a dollar. And of course, that is in the unofficial parallel market. Analysts say it's the first time in 43 years that the naira has hit such a low. The official exchange rate is 197 naira to a dollar, but accessing dollar through the official window is a tug of war. The simple reason is that the government does not have enough dollars to sell anymore. Why? Well, Nigeria's major source of dollar earnings is from the sale of crude. Now, the price of oil, as we all know, has fallen by over 60%. So what that means is that our dollar earnings has fallen drastically by the same value. So the scarcity of dollars is now driving the price up. The situation has forced the government to ration the sale of foreign exchange and, of course, introduce some forex controls. The net effect of all this is that most businesses are not able to access forex to do their business. Now, quite a number of financial experts have said the most viable option left for the government and the monetary authorities is to devalue the naira. We have already had 2 rounds of devaluation over the past 1 year, but that has now stopped the naira from depreciating. So proponents of devaluation had been hoping to get some positive news during the recent Monetary Policy Committee meeting, but their hopes were dashed as the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele emerged from that meeting to announce that there will be no devaluation. Here's what he said.
I wish I had the dollars. I wish our reserves were as high as 50, 60, even 40. We will not be in this. It's because we have limited resources and we will need to continue to say, let us prioritize the use of these limited resources for the good of our country. That is what we are doing. We need to prioritize and ensure that only those that want to import essential raw materials, plants and equipment, at least that they enjoy some preference in the allocation of foreign exchange. We will try as much as possible to cover everybody.
Now, reactions, of course, followed that announcement, and we sought the opinion of one of the proponents of devaluation, investment banker Johnson Chukwu. Take a listen to what he said.
We have to look at why are they not willing to devalue the currency. And there are a couple of factors that come into play. One is, and the most important factor, is that the executive arm of government is still reluctant to accept devaluation as a necessary tool to open up the market. So for that reason, in as much as I wanted or I expected that the Monetary Policy Committee would devalue, but I also knew that they were not going to go directly against the position of the president. The basic thing is that the president is against it, and I want to believe that the CBN and the Monetary Policy Committee, the Minister of Finance, and other economic management team will need to sit down with the president and explain that there is no way we can make this economy competitive if we do not devalue the currency. There's no way we'll bring in foreign direct investments. We cannot bring in portfolio investors. So we can't stabilize the exchange rate if we do not adjust the midpoint of the exchange rate.
Well, of course, Mr. Chukwu is quite right. President Muhammadu Buhari is never hiding his aversion to devaluation, and he sure has his reasons. The president re-emphasized his position when he visited Kenya recently. In a meeting with Nigerians based in Kenya, the president maintained that while export-driven economies could benefit from devaluation of their currencies, devaluation will only result in further inflation and hardship for the poor and middle class in Nigeria's import-dependent economy. He likened further devaluation of naira to having the currency killed, adding that proponents actually of devaluation must work harder to convince him that ordinary Nigerians will gain anything from it. The president also rejected suggestions that the Central Bank of Nigeria should resume the sale of foreign exchange to Bureau de Change, saying that the Bureau de Change business had become a scam and a drain on the economy. Joining me right now to discuss this further is financial analyst DEJI360. Mr. Saliu, thank you very much for joining us on the program. Let me start by asking you, are you a proponent or an opponent of devaluation?
I'm a proponent of devaluation.
You're a proponent of devaluation?
Absolutely.
Now, let's say you were speaking to the president, because the president made it clear that, that proponents of devaluation like yourself have not succeeded in convincing him to see reasons why we should devalue. So let's assume you were talking to the president now. What exactly would you be telling him? Try to convince him right now why we should devalue.
Well, naira can't be stabilized by political grandstanding. Already, there is technical devaluation. Market has devalued naira. If you look at it in the black market, a dollar is about 307 naira. So what the Nigerian government is doing, or what the managers of the fiscal instrument, what they are doing, is creating a spread.
Now, just hold on right there now. Let me just quickly ask you, why is the black market so important? Why are we not looking at the official market? Why the black market? Why is it the basis for our judgment?
Because that is where the common man will go for the exchange of dollars. Look, if you go to the bank today, nobody is going to give you dollars. You can't even get it. I have submitted my passport in the bank. For 5 days, I didn't get $1 to travel. So the ordinary man on the street who wants to import for his own personal business will go to the black market. Now, only the very few, the privileged few, can access dollars through the banks. And how many of them? So in essence, what government is doing is subsidizing, robbing the poor to subsidize the rich and the privileged. So, and that kind of system cannot work in any economy. In fact, it's going to continue to widen the gap between the very rich, the average class, and the poor.
Now, hold on. When you say the privileged few, I mean, we're talking about people who own industries, investors, people who run companies. And these are the people that the CBN has said it will be selling dollars to. People who genuinely have established here and are basically looking for Forex now to probably import spare parts and what have you.
What about the manufacturers? What about those who have small-scale businesses who also will require to import raw materials for production? What about the average individuals who just want to buy one or two things and bring it into the country to create small businesses for them to thrive? See, it is not the government that vitalizes the economy. It is the opportunity the government creates. Do you get it? So if government does not create enough opportunity for market forces to determine whether dollar should be at 2 naira, whether it's going to be at 400 naira, it is not government, it is not their job to fix the price of naira to dollar. They have failed at it. What they have done is creating, in fact, they are energizing the black market, and they are creating a spread between the official market and the black market, and creating opportunities for some people to get unduly rich, taking undue advantage of what is the chaos that is going on.
But so how do you deal with the problem of inflation? Because there's no question at all that if you devalue, inflation will become a very big issue. As a matter of fact, devalue the naira today, fact is that the next moment, workers will be asking for a raise because whatever they'll be earning will become more or less worthless.
The truth of the matter is that naira, in essence, has been devalued. Do you get? If 70% of the people that, the active population of an economy, thrive on 307 naira to $1. So what is the government talking about? How many of the ordinary people on the street are able to access 197 that the bank is touting? And in any case, even these banks, how many people do they sell dollars to? If you were a banker, if you are a business owner, and you are selling the dollar now, are you better served by selling your dollar at 197 or at 307 naira? And we are in the same market. If you were a banker, you had access to dollars, are you going to give the guy that will give you at 197 or you are going to give the guy that's going to give you at 307? You want to make profit and you want to return something to your shareholders at the end of the year. So I don't think it's smart economic practice for government to say they won't devalue naira.
Okay, if you were going to tell the government to devalue now, at how much now would you want the government to devalue the naira to? Since, as you said, of course, in the parallel market, the price, of course, keeps changing. You just quoted the price of 307 naira to a dollar. So if you're advising the government now to bridge the gap and achieve some kind of equilibrium, how much would you be looking at?
Well, analysts have been putting it at 250, 260. And seriously, I think that's a start. You see, it will find this level. We are going to get to a point of equilibrium. What we need is to energize the economy, restore confidence, create liquidity, help states that can't meet their basic needs. You know, if you look at the American economy, they spent their way out of recession. You know, now we're bringing in a lot of monies, fighting corruption. Countries that monies have been started have started to return monies to us. We need to use these monies to energize the economy, pump the money into the economy, restore confidence, help the capital markets. All of these factors put together. Yeah, oil price internationally has been coming down, but there are ways we can do it locally. We can design a local economy that can support whatever practices that is going on in the international market, and find a way to further energize our naira and make it grow. See, there is no way government is going to be able to control an economy where there is total lack of confidence, where dwindling oil prices has continued to directly affect the confidence of even our international partners. FDIs have moved their monies out. Nobody is supporting the economy. Even local investors have serious doubts about the way the economy is headed. The guys handling the monetary policy and the guys handling the fiscal policy are moving in opposite direction.
Okay. What then would you say to the president? Suggest, and of course, we've heard other financial and economic analysts say this, that, look, when you devalue in an economy that is import dependent like Nigeria and not export oriented, that it's more or less like a waste of time, because that devaluation does not in any way benefit, you know, the people of the country. Nigeria does not export anything. So what exactly are you devaluing? That, as the president said, it will make sense if you devalue to help your own exporters, to make them more competitive, rather than devalue just to fund you know, import.
I think the real problem is our inability to locally produce anything. We import everything. So, you know, everything, if you look at the pros and cons, everything has advantages, there are disadvantages. When you devalue, and dollar is where it is now, it will challenge the local producers. It will challenge the local community to start to produce things. We even import, we import toothpicks. Now, when you know what it will cost you to import anything, and you know that there's no market for, you know, by average, you are going to begin to look inward and see what you can do.
Isn't it converse? I mean, isn't it the other way around, that if you prevent these people from importing, you make it difficult for them to import, they'll begin to look inwards and try to make some of those things here, because they know it will be difficult for them to access dollars and, you know, to import those things. So it could be the other way around.
No, see, the issue is not just accessing dollars. You're accessing dollars at what rate? So if you're going to import a vehicle to sell in Nigeria now, and with the rate the dollar is going, you are not going to find any market to sell your car.
So that might encourage you to begin to think of producing your own car at home.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's going to promote ingenuity. It's going to make people begin to think inward and begin to see how they can create things to better their lot and be able to be financially responsible to themselves and their community. So I'm not saying that is the best for the economy. I'm saying in the meantime, while he has his own challenges, he also has his own advantages to the local producers, to the average class, to the common man, even the upper class. I mean, most of our productions are in a way linked to some international market. We have to depend on either raw materials being imported, either, you know, the finished products being imported, and we couple it when we get here. All of that, they have to stop. We need to be able to depend on what we can do locally. We need to promote the local business. We need to promote the local manufacturer to be able to excel. So if that is the focus, at a point, the economy will grow to a level that the naira will begin to find its level. There will be an equilibrium at some point. Now, what I'm saying in essence is that government, it is not government primary duty to begin to defend the naira against all odds. Now, what the government needs to do is first.
Now, we've had, if you can hear me, we've had 2 rounds of devaluation, and you know, things are still not good. How are we sure that after this devaluation, that you know, the dollar, for instance, is not going to go up again? Because some people have argued that, look, there can be no end to devaluation. You devalue, the price of the dollar goes up in the parallel market, so there just can be no end to it.
See, every devaluation will have an objective. There's a purpose to it. You don't just devalue for the sake of devaluation. You devalue to achieve an end. Okay? Any devaluation that meets smart economic planning will stabilize the naira. You don't just devalue because there's pressure on the naira. No, you devalue because when there's pressure, yes, you also devalue because you want to focus the economy in a particular direction. Once that is done, of course there will be stability. But if you come under pressure, because you come under pressure, you devalue immediately, there is no plan, either on the monetary part of the economy or the fiscal part of to hedge the resultant effects of the devaluation. Of course, you are going to have to devalue again when there's another pressure, because there's no smart planning with it. So what the government needs to do is to look at its economic team, rejig it, get people who are fast thinkers, get people who understand the economy, and get people who are ready to work with government. Then, too, we also need to look at the CBN, their policies. How does it vary with, you know, the realities on ground? How does it balance with it? You know, all of this is work together. If fiscal and monetary policy are moving in opposite direction, there is no way we can have an economy that will support our currency. There is no way we can have an economy that will support the local market. We are not going to have an economy that will support the manufacturers to continue to produce locally.
Let me quickly ask you this. I mean, we're beginning to see some kind of rebound in the price of oil. It's beginning to pick up, even though not as fast as we would expect. Of course, Russia is now leading talks now to cut down on oil supply, and we're beginning to see a rebound. It's certainly, the prices have certainly gone up beyond $30 per barrel. If it continues that way and we begin to see things go up, I mean, price continues to go up progressively, is there likely going to be a change in the situation, that the naira will begin to stabilize because the government will have more dollars to sell?
Absolutely. Nigeria is an oil-dependent country. Most of our revenues come from oil. So anything that happens to the oil price directly affects the economy. So if price continues to go up steadily, definitely it will help our economy. Right now, government has achieved what I initially thought was impossible. As even price was going down, government was able to eliminate subsidy. So we couldn't do it when prices were at a level that was benefiting the Nigerian economy. Now refineries are being repaired to full capacity. Once we have all our refineries working and oil prices continue to go up, we're able to refine our oils locally, we're able to export and get improve our income based from exportation. Of course, when there will be fund, there will be confidence in the economy, and government will have at least revenues from their major source of revenue, which is oil. Now, when they have that, they can now stabilize and begin to look at other areas where revenues can be generated. So in a way, first of all, oil, because of what it means to us, will affect us no matter what happens. So if it goes down, it will affect us. If it keeps going up, of course, Nigeria is going to reap bountifully from it. And that's what we're praying for now. Except government is creative, except we have people in charge of the economy that can, in a way, find a way to balance their creativity with skill and ingenuity, we are going to continue to be challenged. So the way out in the short term is for us to continue to hope that the oil price continues to go up.
Well, thank you very much. And let's just hope that you've succeeded in convincing the president. Do you believe that?
Well, I think the president is going to get to a point where he will see that the current economic agenda of the government is not in tandem with the reality on ground. I think he's going to see it, I think he's going to appreciate it, and there will be a review of the economic agenda of the APC government. That I'm very sure of, and I don't think it will take long. Because we are not operating in isolation, he's traveling everywhere. I'm sure people will continue to tell him that we are not moving in the right direction as far as the economy is concerned.
Mr. Denis Aliyu, thank you very much for your thoughts. Thank you very much for your contributions. Well, that's it on the program. If you want to watch it again, it's simple. All you just need to do is go to our website, tv360nigeria.com. You'll find the program and lots more there. You can also watch us on YouTube by subscribing to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/TV360 Nigeria. Do subscribe to get latest videos and updates. And follow us on Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. Just like us on Facebook. The address is facebook.com/TV360 online. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our handle is at TV360 online. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you again next week.